Hi Pisces, I hope you're well. Pisces, we're going to jump straight into your reading today. So, Pisces, my ethereal Pisceans. Pisces, straight off the bat. Your first card out was the Emperor. So whichever group of Pisces I'm connecting to is very much strong in their power, and I want to say in perhaps a very dominant position. I see you taking a stance here, Pisces, and a very strong stance at that. You see how this Emperor here is holding a spear, right? And this spear is directly pinning down this devil. And at the top of the spear is the moon, which is intuition, it's spirit, it's source, right? So we literally have this like good versus evil thing going on here, right? Whether you're crushing personal demons, personal struggles that you've had in the past, personal shadow elements of your own personality, personal demons that you have, or it is symbolic of you crushing and overcoming evil out there within the world, right? However we want to perceive evil, okay? And you're doing it with a great amount of ease, because when we look at the Emperor, he's not even actually paying that much attention to this action going on here, right? He's looking in a completely different direction, and it almost seems effortless to him. It seems like he's not really trying that hard. So this is something that's coming natural to you. It's almost like you're being very much somewhat of a spiritual warrior. Very much taking a stance. And it's like there's no questions asked, right? You're not sort of in the middle here. You're not in a grey area. You are very set, very certain on your stance, your viewpoint, or your position on something that's going on in your world right now. So Pisces, well done. Very powerful position to be starting off with. Next card, how is the Spirit Dancer? So I do want to say that you're pushing the envelope here. You're pushing boundaries, or I do want to say you're like prodding. You're sort of like, it's like almost not coming across in a nagging kind of way, but you're being very, very persistent with this stance that you're taking. You're being very, very persistent, and it's like you're not letting it go. Pisces is not letting it go. Pisces is going to keep prodding, and Pisces is going to keep saying the things they're saying, doing the things they're doing, however this applies. Because as I said, you're very set and you're very certain on your position on whatever this subject matter is. And it's like you're going to keep bringing this up in conversation. You're going to keep bringing it to people's attention. And people are getting irritated by it. But that's no reflection on you, Pisces. Because as we saw here, we've got the spiritual, and then we've got this, you know, this heavier, darker, shadowy element down here. And you're operating from this, right? You're stamping out heaviness, darkness. The Devil card in the Tarot is associated with, right, chains that bound us, chains that bind us, or things that are not good for our own well-being. They're not good for our personal development. They're not good for our growth. They are our own demons, or the demons of the wider world, i.e., you know, the evils of the world. And I keep coming back to this like good and evil thing. You know, I know good and evil is completely subjective, But what I want to say is you are taking the spiritual stance on this, and you are completely right to do so. So therefore, however irritated people might be getting, however annoyed they might be getting, however uncomfortable they might be feeling, you are actually triggering something within them because you're showing them their own shadows, right? You're opening their mind up when perhaps their minds are not necessarily ready, but they need to be ready, right? We can often think about in spiritual growth that everyone is on their own timeline, right? Everyone's on their own timeline, their own set of evolution, and that is completely right. Everybody grows at their own personal rate, at their own personal cycles of growth, right? But Pisces has this very, very urgent task of tapping your third eye and waking up these people, right, that aren't taking any notice of this shadowy element here. It's like you're bringing this to their awareness by pushing the envelope. You're being an annoyance. But Pisces, I want to say, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep being an annoyance. You may not necessarily get a positive reaction from the people that you're doing it to. And I would never, ever encourage anyone to go and, you know, purposefully push their beliefs or feelings or opinions on anyone. I do not agree with that. But, you know, we're going back to this effortless stance that the Emperor is taking. You're not being forceful with it, right? If we were seeing something like a Knight of Wands, you know, someone that's charging in and being very, very forceful and very like intense with their intent and their emotion, then I would say, okay, let's come back a bit, Pisces, and maybe water down the intensity that you're bringing across with your message, right? But because we've got the Wands, which does represent, you know, obviously the fire element, but because in this deck it's not represented by, you know, the pure element of fire, and I know that in the original tarot deck it is represented by Wands still, but just bear with me here. I'm actually sort of seeing this as a sort of earth element. So you're coming across, I know it's the Emperor, but you're coming across like you have fire and earth. So you're being very intense, yes, with what you're saying or your teaching or your wisdom or your guidance or whatever it is that you're being opinionated about, because I feel like you're being quite opinionated with this by, you know, going back to this pushing the envelope and, you know, sort of prodding and nudging people. But I do want to say that you're doing it in a way that is rooted to the earth, all right? It's this slow steadiness. So you're coming across exactly as the Emperor is as an archetype, and that is in your power and very wise, very wise, very I can't think of the word, like very respected in how you're coming across. So people are kind of a little bit annoyed by it, but they also have a lot of respect for whoever this is. So they're sort of like, you know, they've still got their ears sort of open to it. They're still absorbing whatever you're saying, even though it's maybe pushing at sensitive parts of them or shadowy parts of them, things that they don't necessarily want to look at or they don't want to really take any notice of, or things that might frighten them, things that make them uncomfortable. You know, things from the abyss, things from down there that is dark, uncomfortable, scary, fearful, that we don't want to pay attention to, but unfortunately we have to, right, if we want to progress anywhere. So you're coming across with this fire, this earth, and then this Emperor. It's like you've got all of the tools, right? Which is why this is just coming across so effortless to you, and it's like you're not even trying. It's coming natural to you, Pisces. Get a bit more on that. Okay, so you had two reversals. So you've had the Four of Pentacles. And then you had the Queen of Cups. But they came out reversed, so just give me a minute, Pisces. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the Four of Pentacles, right? Because this is the one that came out on top. So in this picture, we can see a dragon, right? And they're deep in a cave, deep in their, amongst the magic and their wisdom, right? This almost looks like a little cauldron here, and they've got this golden egg. But they're very much in their own cave, right? They're not out in the open. They're not expressing it. They're not showing it to the outside world, whatever it is that's going on in this cave. But because this came out reversed, this is what I'm saying. You're being very like vocal, or you're showing people, or you're just being very expressive, or you're leading away, or showing, leading by example. But there's something about whatever it is that you've been doing or feeling, you know, because the cave, it's within, right? It's like our internal cave, the cave of our mind, where everything's stored, right? Sorry, I just got a notification come up. But because this is reversed, it's almost like this is you pushing all of this magic, all of this gooey yumminess that's inside Pisces that isn't usually expressed to the outside world, because you're gentle and you're usually softer and quieter and, you know, a bit more like a deer and a fawn. Like, you like to move through the world a bit more gently. The very stereotypical Pisces, right? It completely depends on your entire birth chart. But something is causing you, and I do want to say that that is the Queen of Cups here. Something's causing you to bring up, or bring out, I should say, a part of you that you're not necessarily usually quite expressive about, and showing it to the outside world, and that is driven by the Queen of Cups. You're feeling very emotionally invested and emotionally moved by something that's very, very close to your heart, something that you're very, very passionate about, something that moves you, right? It moves your waters. And, you know, it definitely feels sort of earth related, right? Whether this is environmental, socioeconomic, cultural, or even something surrounding water. You know, you might be in a position where you're defending the right of clean water for people in your community, or you might be very active in environmentalism right now, or you may be very much trying to become involved with socio-economic issues or cultural issues such as poverty, or you know, crime and how that impacts, you know, it's crime and how that impacts the culture of an area, right? In it creating not a safe environment for a community to actually express itself, right? So for example, I'm literally just seeing like perhaps a town that might be a little bit run down or a little bit rough, or it has a high crime rate, and I see a Pisces like sort of thinking, right, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with my external environment, I know that I have something to gift here. And then Pisces goes and suddenly gets a burst of confidence and is like, right, the people in this community don't have access to nature, so I'm going to set up a community group where people can come and learn how to grow plants at home, or, you know, grow a little herb garden at home. Like, you know, you're bringing something beautiful and something gentle, or something, you're protecting something beautiful and something gentle, very Piscean. You're protecting something that you feel is spiritual, and it is like kicking you into this spiritual warrior. You're feeling like you need to express this in order to give back to your community, because there's so much darkness that has been coming in, I feel, very, very quickly, and Pisces has been called into action to be this sort of guiding light and to give something back to the people that is around them, right? You want to give back some light to people. You want to shine a light in the darkness. So I'm seeing, you know, like I said, Pisces very involved in environmentalism, or involved in just improving the community, you know, improving the lives of maybe children, or creating things that is developed in order to improve a child's creativity, right? Access to creative resources. It's something very, very humanitarian, right? And I guess what this message then is wanting to say, and sort of I'm feeling like it's wanting to end with, is that to the Pisces that are already out there doing that stuff, you really are claiming your self-power, right? And there is so much pride from doing that, from not just your peers that are observing this, and maybe not everyone is sort of super warm to it, because perhaps they know the Pisces as being quite docile or quite shy, quite timid. Completely ignore those people, Pisces, because the people that really do matter, and the people that really do love you and care about you, and the people in spirit that are with you, they are so incredibly proud of everything that you're achieving right now. So you keep on your path, and you keep stamping out the darkness, and you keep lighting those lights, because you are being of absolute service to either your community, your friends, your family, your peers, or to the wider landscape as a whole, right? To just Earth in general, if you're working on some massive projects. And if you're a Pisces who is still not yet flourished into that role, and is still, still in your cave a little bit, that is absolutely fine. And there is no rush, because you're on your own timeline of evolution, Pisces. But what the message to take home is that you have a gift, right? And if you're feeling this calling, you're feeling this yearning to express that part of yourself and give that part back to the community, this is your call to do so, okay? If there's that idea, that thought, that creative process of, oh, I could do that group, or I could teach this, or I could lead that, or, oh, I've got this awesome idea for a new design of something, or I'm really passionate about this human rights movement, or, you know, however it sort of applies, this is your call to action now. It's the right time, or it very, very shortly will be, and you have all the support in the world to do so, and you will be successful. All right? I loved that, Pisces. I'm going to leave you with that, and I send you all my love, light and blessings wherever you are in the world, and whenever this finds you. So have a lovely day or night, Pisces, and I will speak to you very soon.